Congratulations, you just got yourself an imaginary Su Shang. Now the reason why I say this is because E2 kind of acts like Su Shang. Wherever Su Shang gets her ultimate ready and used, she will advance forward. So same thing like Dan Feng, very similar. So that means now you have wheeled this far, and I'm assuming that you also have enough money to skip all the other 4-star light cone options, so stick with 5-star light cone. And now that Dan Feng is getting extra Sacrosacta stacks, he is definitely going to get more energy regeneration because he will definitely advance forward also, so he's getting another turn. So with E2 now, Dan Feng is becoming like a mobile Bronya, a mobile suit Bronya. Just imagine the possibilities. And this also allows you to make use of propagation path even more than an E1 or an E0 code. So with the extra turn that you have in your kit, you will definitely make use of more energy regeneration rate, more attacks, definitely more chance to save skill points also, as well as deal more damage depending on how you play Dan Feng. So with E2, he becomes more versatile in this case. Now what can you do with the 100% advance forward is that you can also use the resolution shines as pearls of sweat more efficiently, because then again this is a 1 turn defense down. So if you apply defense down for 1 turn and the enemy acts on that same turn, then it is safe to say that this light cone is useless. But Dan Feng changes this altogether. So if he hits the same defense down enemy and advance forward by 100%, that means he's going to hit the same defense down enemy twice, and he's going to increase the efficiency of this light cone all in all. And the reason why this light cone is so good on Sampo is because Sampo applies via ultimate and skill to all enemies or an AoE basis. Pela is not able to apply on an AoE basis via skill, but Sampo can do that. But Pela can only apply via ultimate, that's it. But Sampo can apply via skill, and this is a very huge bonus to him. And since Sampo has so many instances of attacks, so that means you have more chance to land defense down. I've already tested this Sampo build with Blade. I'm already finding a lot of success. So then again, this is fantastic. The relic slots are very interesting for specifically E2. He can run speed. Yes, he can 0 cycle clear an MoC with speed. That's right, a 0 cycle clear with speed. How is this possible? 127 speed is totally fine, but with your teammates now, you are going to run Tingyun with E1, assuming you're going to the whale standards and level, as well as Locha with his signature light cone, which then gives you speed on your ultimate, and Tingyun also giving speed from E1. So very strong here. So Dan Feng doesn't need to go all the way to 134. He can just stick around 120, around there, and definitely he's getting the speed buff. Although Dan Feng is not able to get 134 speed independently, that's totally fine. The use of external buffers will definitely help Dan Feng to secure this speed buff for the rest of the duration of the battle. So then again, it doesn't really matter much. And now for the attack rope here, we will focus on crit rate, crit damage, and attack. So this time, for your crit rate, focus until 100% crit rate, that's totally fine. And then your crit rate, imagine you have 100% already, then you can only now go for attack and crit damage and try to balance out the substats here. And you really need to watch out for that, because sometimes if you get too much crit damage, you will neglect your attack. So you have to choose your speed boot very carefully. Preferably one with very high crit rate, high attack, and crit damage, which I currently do not have at the moment. So we are running the same relic slots as usual, focusing on crit rate, crit damage, and now attack, because right now we don't have an attack boot, we are running speed boot. So it is not wrong to have this kind of setup. And let's say if you're going to make a team for a 0 cycle clear, you can see that I can do Dan Feng, Bronya, if with an attack boot, but since we have no attack boots, so we are running speed boot and hence we don't need Bronya. Very simple. And then we will put in Silver Wolf and Tingyun Locha. So this team can zero cycle clear, assuming that you have an E2 speed boots and just enough attack and crit damage to make up for all the losses from the attack boot. So then again, Dan Feng is going to move twice in the first turn, assuming that he gets 134 speed after the in-battle modifiers provided by Tingyun and Locha, and therefore this means that he is able to move twice in that same cycle, and he's definitely going to keep this speed for the rest of the duration. Focus on speed for both Locha and Tingyun, and then we will see that Dan Feng will technically follow the speed in a way. Now, if you want to run an attack boot, that's totally fine. We have, let's say, an attack boot from here. This is the normal boot I'm using. So then again, we have to make sure that it's 100% crit rate again. So this is now with his attack boot. So Dan Feng with attack boot must include Bronya, must, for maximum damage output and also skill point usage. And Bronya, in this case, she can run, but the battle isn't over, and also the machine cogs, like I said in my last guide. So that hasn't changed, but then again, we can run this kind of team. It can zero cycle clear. E0 can zero cycle clear with this team, so why not E2? So same thing here. So with E2, you can also go with Tingyun now, because then Tingyun provides more consistent attack buffs as well as a skill positive unit. So this is where exactly you want to use an attack boot Dan Feng. So for this other team, let's say your blade is Dan Feng, for example, then you want to put Silver Wolf and then Tingyun in this slot, and then your healer, which is presumably and preferably Locha. That's it. That's for the guide here.